you live report of a multiple fatality car accident just outside of Slim River Town. That the driver, along with the other 5 passengers, were actively under the influence of alcohol and drugs. All students from University of Culture shock.
How can we define it?
Culture shock is the feeling of disorientation experienced by someone
When they are suddenly subjected by an unfamiliar culture and way of life.
However, let's interrogate others' perspectives to delve deeper into the idea of culture shock. An officer moving to a new place is a common thing as the career expands. Have you ever experienced any cultural adjustments when moving to a new place?
Yes, previously I have to adapt to new work pattern because everything is computerized nowadays. Getting along with new work maps and more detailed job scope that include high level of department.
I see. That is very inspiring. How do cultural norms in our country impact life of the newcomers?
The culture setting is our country is filled with the diversity of races, religions, law and regulation which safe is welcoming. Unlike in some other countries, they have their own lifestyle and normalization. Mainly, we focus on parents to guide their children with positive moral knowledge and religion teaching. Other than that, authorities with information can also help to adapt themselves.
Okay, Ms. Kai, how can culture shock affects differently to people?
Answering your questions, according to the research, most people normally they will go with personal traits. That is, when you are introduced to new cultures, people who are more open-minded, they will be able to adapt better. Whereas for people where they are rigid, they will have experienced this intense culture shock.
For the second question, based on your experience as a lecturer, how does culture shock impact the students' academic performance?
This one, it will be on how they will be able to focus in class. When you have, culture shock, so it might take you some time for you to adapt to a new culture. So that will be a barrier for them. Let them have, their own time. Let them take time and have patience for them to adapt to new culture. So it would be to ask them to please stay open-minded. Whatever, you're dealing with at the moment, stay open-minded. Give time to yourself. For you to understand another culture, it will take time.
As a student yourself, given the first impression of university, have you ever experienced culture shock?
Yes, in university, I discovered that the study culture, ways to communicate and daily lifestyle are very different from what I used to.
As an imam yourself, have you ever encountered those who seek guidance or advice regarding this issue?
Yes, especially the freshmen. In this situation, I suggest to focus on keeping a balance between academic commitment and rohani while holding firm on Islamic values which will help us overcome the challenges. Islam teaches us the value of having a noble akhlaq such as respect others and behave well. With this principle, students will surely find comfort and holding firm to Islamic values.
Can you provide us tips on how international students can survive in different countries?
We are Muslim. It is easy to adapt to. Malaysia culture is more or less like in Islamic. So easy for us to adapt, in terms of dressing, in terms of food, talking, respect, approach, and everything. Bagus. First thing is to respect the rules and law of the particular country. The rules and regulations in Nigeria will be different from the rules and regulations in Malaysia here.
As a Nigerian, should respect the cultural differences.
They have covered all. The most important things is respect culture, respect religion, and stay on your lane. Make sure you stay focused on what brings you to that particular country. If you do that, I think you will live there happily, inshallah.
As a new student, have you gone into any form of culture shock?
So basically, since I was a student in MRSM back then, being in hostel is not a big deal for me. But one thing that made me shocked, the interaction between the boys and the girls. I see a lot of girls and a lot of boys, they are on a date.
How do you think culture shock affects people?
For me, it is totally depend on how people react on the situation. Or maybe we can just ignore or face something new. The newfound freedom, it helps me to improve my time management, how to manage our activities properly. This newfound freedom is going to help me in the long run.
Okay, so thank you for your time. Okay.